Welcome back to the Deeper 2025 podcast. Glad you've joined us today. Today we look at 2 Timothy 1. And again, this is the second letter that Paul writes to the young pastor Timothy. And he's writing these letters actually from prison. And it's interesting, and I mentioned that he's writing these letters from prison because he's writing these letters, and in 2 Timothy 1, he specifically is writing from prison to encourage Timothy to stay strong in the faith that he has and stay strong in the calling that God has given him to pastor this church. He reminds him of this sincere faith that's been passed down from his family and urges him not to be ashamed of the gospel that he's preaching. In fact, in 2 Timothy 1:7, one of the most popular verses in all the New Testament, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but one of power, love, and sound judgment. Paul's message is clear here. Timothy, do not be afraid because fear is not from God. God doesn't give us a spirit of fear, but he gives us a spirit of power and love and sound judgment. And so what does that have to do with you today? Maybe you're not facing persecution or prison like Paul and Timothy would in their day. But maybe you're facing other things in your life that are just eating away at your faith, and they're bringing fear into your life. I think Paul today, if he were able to write to us, a letter to us, he would write a letter telling us to keep our faith strong, that we've got to keep the faith, that remember that there are people that helped you to get to where you are. He talks about Timothy's grandmother and his mother, and how they were strong in the faith and brought him up. And there are people probably in your life that had a strong faith that brought you to faith. Remember those people and keep growing in your faith. Faith is one of those things that you're either growing or you're declining in faith. Your faith is either growing or withering. Your faith doesn't stay the same. And so keep your faith strong, keep growing in your faith. But then just an obvious thing is don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of what you're facing. God gives you courage. He gives you power. He gives you sound judgment. He gives you the ability to come to him and to trust him. Don't be afraid. Whatever you're facing, there's no reason for you to be afraid. Fear doesn't come from God. Fear comes from the enemy. And when you fear, it really is saying I don't trust God that he's got this. And so trust God. Don't be afraid. But then also share your faith boldly. Speak up about Jesus. Speak up about what he's done. Speak up about why you're not afraid. Speak up about the one who gave you power to overcome whatever it is you're overcoming. Speak up about Jesus, who gives you the ability to continue growing in your faith in the midst of difficulty. And then the last thing I would say is stay loyal to Jesus. Obviously, Timothy has some things that he's afraid of. And Paul has to remind him that God hasn't given him a spirit of fear, but he's given him all these other things to use and to be tools at his disposal. And I've said this often, when we come against something that's really difficult in our life, we have two options. It's either run to God or run away from God. And I think the call here is to run toward God. Stay loyal to Jesus even when it's hard. Stay faithful when it's hard. God is always faithful to us. God is always faithful. He never wavers in his faithfulness to us. And his call to us is to not fear, don't be afraid, stay faithful even in the most difficult of circumstances.